There is currently so much stuff going on in the college football world, and I want to make this clear. I love it, man. It adds for entertainment, and we also got the national championship coming up. It's a great time to be a football fan. I couldn't even sit up here and name off all the crazy stuff that's happened, not over the past week, but in the past couple of days, because it's so many different things. But however, that also makes this story we're about to talk about a little more interesting because it's almost getting lost in the mix of things. I feel like if all the drama with Clemson, Dabo Swinney, Caleb Williams, and the national championship game wasn't all currently ongoing, this is what everybody would be talking about. What we're going to talk about in today's video, and it's a developing and ongoing story, is Texas A&M's football program has been caught for cheating. My bad. Let me go back on that statement. They're not cheating. That's completely my fault. I forgot. It's 2021, or now it's 2022. You can actually pay players to come to your school. Technically, you're not supposed to do it outright, but with the whole NIL going on, there's so many ways you can sneak around the rules. It's kind of like taxes. The rich almost never pay taxes because they somehow find a way to avoid them. We got a lot of information to talk about in today's video. I hope you guys are ready. And also too, I tweeted out earlier, normally we do a light go. I'm not even doing it. Letting y'all know right now, we will be double uploading tonight. I hope you guys are excited to get into this video and also the one later tonight. They're both going to be good ones, and there's so much going on. As always, if you're new to the channel, I'd appreciate if you join our family. Hit that subscribe button and leave a like for more. And as always, I'm saying my outro. And now, without further ado, let's get into it. Texas A&M and Jimbo Fisher have somehow miraculously put together it is actually being labeled as the greatest recruiting class of all time in college football history. Before a couple of days ago, they had five five-star recruits, but after the commitment from the new player, what's his name? Hold on, let me check. Yes, the new five-star linebacker, Harold Perkins, makes him their sixth five-star recruit they got in the class. And with his recent commitment, that has bumped them up to the #1 recruiting class of all time. Anybody that's not a Texas A&M fan is all saying the same thing. Why in the heck are all these kids wanting to go there? Last time I checked, A&M, it's not a popular place to go to. It's not like USC or some place like that on the West Coast, and they're not even that great of a football team. They go 8-5 every single year. Am I trying to knock the culture? If you want to say that, you can, but come on now. We all know, and if you're a football or college football fan, you understand and realize it's not a prestigious school. When you think of some of the legendary programs over the years, Clemson, Ohio State, Alabama, you can even throw LSU in there. Heck, you can even say Georgia and Florida. Those are the schools you think of. I'm going to try to put this in a nice way. It's not really an appeasing school to go to. But apparently, all of a sudden this year, it is appealing to go to. Look at all the recruits they're getting. When you look at the cold, hard facts, it's really shocking. The past 12 to 13 seasons, there's only been 2 teams that have held that #1 recruiting spot. Alabama and Georgia. I believe Alabama's finished #1 9 times and Georgia's done it 2 or maybe 3 times. Over that 10-year span where Georgia and Alabama has been #1, yes, Texas A&M has had some good recruiting classes, but nothing like this. I think you all get the basic information and we're all on the same page. It's a little fishy that Texas A&M not only put together the #1 recruiting class in 2022, but the #1 recruiting class of all time in the history of the sport. They don't have a great coach, and yes, that's right, I said it. Jimbo Fisher is not a great coach. He's a good coach at best. Until he improves and can go 11-1 or 10-2 in the SEC, I'm not labeling him as great. Oh, well, they beat Alabama this year. Yeah, that doesn't make up for the past 8 to 9 butt whoopings Nick Saban's put on him. It's the exact same thing with Jim Harbaugh. Y'all were trying to say he's the next great coach because he beat Ohio State, and I tried to warn you, you can't overreact to one win. And look what happened. He got butt waxed in the college football playoff, and y'all are like, okay, maybe Matt was right. If you want to say Jimbo Fisher is a great recruiter, I'll give you that. As far as coaching, no, he's not on the level of great. Anyways, getting a move on, everybody's been skeptical of this. I mean, I've seen people on ESPN bring it up. I saw it on Twitter. I've seen it on Instagram. Everyone's talking about it. Of course, fans, they're going to say this and they're going to say that because they're mad their team didn't have the #1 class. But let's take a look at what I just saw. A member from 24/7 Sports, which is one of the biggest recruiting websites out there and is credible to a lot of people, he said this. What I'm about to read off to you is from a Oklahoma Insider page, and yeah, just take a listen. What he's referring to in this comment is somebody asked about how much are they paying these players and how are they paying them. He said, to answer OP's question, the number I've heard is between 25 million and 30 million. That was as of the first signing day. We're nowhere near prepared to dish out that kind of money. A&M's donors were extremely coordinated. The coaching staff would identify players they wanted, relay those to the point donor, and then that individual would work with various other donors to build an LLC that would sponsor the player. And if you're hoping they'll just jump into the portal after year one, they're a step ahead there too. They structured each player's deals as a multi-year contract. Leave A&M and you leave the money behind. A&M is an exhibit of what everyone was concerned NIL would become. They wasted no time in making that true. Before we go any farther and we gotta read some replies to that, does that mean it's confirmed they're paying these players and they're doing all these deals? No, it's not 100% confirmed or true. Out of everything that person said, and I have no idea who it is, but according to the person who tweeted out, it's supposed to be a credible source from 24/7 Sports. One thing I can almost tell you is true, and this goes on with almost every school with the donors, they do target out these players and they form an LLC to fund that said player. That happens not just at Texas A&M, but it's going to happen at every single program when they sign these deals, and there's nothing wrong with it. In 2015, yes, that would be a major red flag, but remember, athletes can get paid. It's kind of taken everyone a while, and even me, to understand, oh, it's actually normal for these athletes to get paid. The reason Texas A&M, they're getting all these rumors made about them, and everyone's attacking their program, everyone else, quite frankly, they're jealous. I'm calling it how it is, and I'm calling it out. They're simply jealous. You're not going to hate on somebody who has a 10th ranked recruiting class. You're going to be mad at the guy who's at number 1. If you want my humble opinion, here's how I stand on it. Do I think some fishy and maybe some illegal stuff is going on with Jimbo Fisher and Texas A&M and recruiting these athletes? Yes, I do. Of course there's some illegal stuff going on. However, with that being said, don't get mad at me. Let me finish my statement. I think there's illegal stuff going on at every single program, and it's been going on for 20 to 30 years. That was one of the main reasons they made it legal to pay these players. Everyone with a working IQ understands, and they've been known these players were getting paid under the table. I'm not talking about Texas A&M, I'm talking about Alabama, Auburn, Florida, Oklahoma, Washington, every school in the country, they do it. That's what I believe. If you don't believe that way, you can do whatever you want. And I'm an Alabama fan. I still think Alabama and Nick Saban, they've given some players some cars and some money. I don't know if some of you remember this or even cared enough to pay attention, but in 2010 through 2014, for a while, all the Alabama star defensive backs, they were getting brand new Camaros and brand new cars. Everybody was talking about it at the time, but there's also this argument where you can't profile them and say, oh, well, how come their parents can't afford to buy them that? I remember one player in particular, Eddie Jackson in Alabama, after he had a great year there, he got a brand new Camaro. And how they were making it quote unquote legal then, they weren't getting approved for the loan or buying the car. Alabama and the program were banking on them going to the NFL, and they'd put down the down payment or buy the car in cash knowing the player would pay them back. I don't want to go too into detail with that. It's a different conversation for a different day. Getting back on topic with A&M and Oklahoma, like I was saying, illegal stuff goes on with every program. I don't think they're getting all these players by paying them. I think genuinely, for some odd reason, they want to go to A&M and play for Jimbo Fisher. And I can say this truthfully, beating Alabama has definitely helped them. You can say what you want about him, hate on Fisher, but there's potential there. He's just got to put it all together. I understand some of you think I'm hating on Fisher because I say he's not a great coach. It's more of he hasn't impressed me in the SEC. Until you can beat Alabama and finish the year and go 11-1, I'm not going to believe in you as a head coach. Before some of you try to say, oh, well, we didn't have a quarterback. We were dealing with injuries. You had a decent quarterback. And guess what? Injuries are a part of the game. Alabama, Nick Saban, they have injuries to great players all the time. Jalen Waddle, John Mechie. What does he do? He replaces them and doesn't skip a beat. There's no excuse for Jimbo Fisher. If he doesn't win a championship in the next 2 to 3 years, he never will. If a quarterback gets injured or a star player gets injured now, you should replace him with a 4 or 5 star. I do want to throw this in there. I found this interesting. I haven't heard anything about it. Apparently this is true. Somebody tweeted out, Oklahoma was giving recruits NFTs, then buying them back for $25K. Recruits would then commit elsewhere. If you know anything about that, feel free to let me know in the comment section. But that's actually smart, because if you don't understand what that person's saying, and I do think it's true, so NFTs, you know, everything. Basically, they were giving the player an NFT, and then it was illegal for the player to sell it back to whoever and profit off of it. In other terms, to dumb it down, the NFT was $0, and they're like, hey, we're going to give you this and put it up for auction for $25K and we'll buy it. So therefore, you're getting legal money. Okay, let me put it in a better perspective so some of you understand. Not everybody understands the crypto market. It would be the exact scenario if I gave you a piece of paper for free and I said, hey, I'll buy that paper from you for $25,000. That's what Oklahoma's been doing. Or not been doing, according to rumors on Twitter. And you want to know what's crazy? As illegal as what I just said sounds, it's not. You can do that with the NIL. Last but not least, before we end off this video, I forgot to mention and throw in there, Texas, they went 5-7. So a lot of the recruits that'd be going there are like, I don't want to go there. I'll go to the closest next best school, which is A&M. And then too, you got the whole Oklahoma drama. They lost a lot of recruits, and I'm sure that also helped A&M. You can cut it up, chop it up, whichever way you want. It was almost the perfect storm for A&M to have a great recruiting class, whether it's illegal or legal. I'm not a hater. However, you got to get them, you got to get them. Just don't get caught. Let me know your thoughts down below. This will also be a double upload later tonight. Hope to see you boys and girls there. And as always, let's be great. I'm out, y'all. Peace.